So today I'm back with another episode of Chaos Talk. This is the second or third episode I believe I've done now. So as you can see, the title of this one is Stop Missing Out on Amazing Fragrances and Form Your Own Opinions. So this is something that I see happen all the time in the fragrance community when it comes to discovering new scents and when it comes to trying new things. I think the mistake a lot of people make is they're way too influenced by other people's opinions, whether that be other reviewers or just, some of their friends in the community or whatever the case may be. I feel like a lot of people get caught up in other people's opinions and they don't actually try things for themselves. And that really ends up hurting you because there could be a lot of fragrances out there that you may really end up liking, but you just haven't tried yet because someone else said that they didn't like it or whatever the case may be. And this is especially prominent with a certain reviewer. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of who I'm talking about, where if the fragrance doesn't get a crap ton of compliments, it automatically sucks and he just writes it off. And then a lot of other people tend to write it off too, and they end up not trying it for themselves at all, and they just push it to the back burner and they never end up trying it. And I've made this mistake several times when I was first starting out. There were a lot of fragrances that I ended up not trying for the longest time because I heard other people say that they weren't that good or they didn't like them, or there were certain qualities about them that weren't that good. One example of this I've talked about before, Dior Homme Intense. That was something I didn't try for the longest time because everyone talked about the lipstick note and all of this and all of that, and so I'm just like, oh well, why would I want to smell like that? I'm not even going to try it. And eventually one day I ended up trying it, and what would you know, now it is one of my favorite designer scents of all time. And I could have discovered that a lot sooner if I hadn't listened to what everyone else was saying, and I just went out and I tried it for myself. And again, a lot of this comes with experience. Once you smell a lot of fragrances, you'll be able to look at the note breakdown and kind of make a determination on whether or not you think you're going to like the scent. For example, if you're not a fan of aquatic scents and you go look at a fragrance and there's a bunch of aquatic notes, marine notes, and like sea salt, it's probably a pretty good chance that you're not going to like that fragrance. So then in that case, it might be okay to pass on that for now. But this is especially important when you're first starting out, and now I'm going to be speaking to maybe some of you guys who are just now starting with collecting fragrances and you've came across my channel. So listen up here. It's especially important when you're first starting out to try everything. Just try everything. Get a sample of everything that you can and smell as many different types of fragrances as you can, because again, there are so many out there and there's all sorts of different categories of scents. You have woody scents, leather scents, aquatic scents, boozy scents. There's just so many different ones, and there's so many subcategories in each of those as well that you really need to branch out and you need to try as many as you can, so that way when a fragrance starts getting talked about and it starts getting hyped, and if one reviewer says, oh, it sucks because it doesn't get compliments and it didn't get me laid 5 times, then that doesn't mean you need to write it off. If the fragrance looks interesting to you, then you can try it. But again, basically what I'm saying here is you need to stop forming your judgment on fragrances based off of other people's opinion, because that's all it is in the end of the day, is opinions. These are all our opinions. This is fragrance. It's very, very subjective. Not everyone is going to like the same fragrance, and that's okay. That's pretty much impossible. That's not going to happen. That's why this is such a personal hobby, where you need to go out and try stuff yourself. You can't rely on someone else to tell you whether or not you're going to like it. It's not like with a car where you can read off the list of specs and all the different details and stuff like that. Fragrance, you really don't have that. You have the note breakdown, but other than that, what really matters is what it smells like to you. And again, everyone is going to smell things differently. Everyone has a different way of picking out notes. So again, like I said, especially if you're new, if you're just starting out, just take all of the reviews with a grain of salt. Take my reviews with a grain of salt. Just because I like something doesn't mean that you're going to like something. Just because I hate something doesn't mean that you're going to hate something. That's just how it is. It's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be certain things that people like and certain things people don't like. And that's one thing that's nice about having so many fragrance reviewers, is you get to pick who you subscribe to based on their taste. If it aligns with yours, you have a similar taste as, a certain reviewer you watch, that's always going to be something that's really nice, because a lot of times your opinions will align for the most part, and you'll oftentimes agree on a scent smelling this way, and you both will typically like the scent. If you're watching, a channel that just does, really like oud fragrances and like really high-end, exclusive niche oud fragrances, and you're, sitting here with a bunch of designers, obviously there's a discrepancy there. your taste isn't going to align with that person. That's why you need to go out and you need to subscribe to other reviewers who have a similar taste as you do, so that way they can actually help you. Because again, that's really all we're here for, is we're here to help you discover new scents that you would like. And again, if I'm sitting here talking about, so again, in summary, what am I saying here? I'm saying that you need to try as many fragrances as you can, no matter what, your favorite reviewer says. Still just go out and try it for yourself, make your own opinions, because that's the only way you're going to know if you like it, is if you actually try it. And like I've said before, there's been so many times where I've written a fragrance off because someone else said it sucked, then I ended up trying it later on down the road, and I ended up loving it. And again, that's just kind of how it goes. So now I've learned the lesson that I need to stop taking reviews so seriously, and that's really what I've done, and that's how my collection has grown to where it is pretty much when I stopped taking all of these reviews to heart. And if someone said this fragrance is great, then I would just go out and blind buy it. And if someone said this fragrance sucked, I would just ignore it. Once I stopped doing that, I started having a lot more fun with collecting, and I started finding a lot more fragrances that I actually liked. And again, that's been the fun part for me, is discovering all of these new scents, because I was kind of getting to a burnt out phase earlier on in the year, because again, I was buying all these super highly compliment getting designer fragrances that everyone loved, and I really wasn't having much fun with it. And it wasn't until I started getting into niche that I started having a little bit more fun, and discovering new different scents is really what brought me back into it. So again, that's what I'm saying here with you guys. Just try as much as you can. Don't focus so much on other people's opinions. Just go out, try stuff for yourself, form your own opinions. And then another thing I hear all the time is people say, oh, I don't have a 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗜𝗔 near me, I don't have a Saks near me. If you're trying to smell some niche fragrances, it's really hard for me to sample stuff. Again, that's really not much of a relevant excuse. You can buy samples online. It's not going to kill you to spend $10 or $15 on a sample of a fragrance, especially if that fragrance is expensive, like for a full bottle. You can get samples from everywhere. Here's a few samples from Beverly Hills Perfumery. Alan will send you 4 of them with every bottle purchase that you make from him. He's a great guy, has a great selection. His prices are really good. Beverly Hills Perfumery, I'm sure a lot of you have already heard of him. And then of course, a lot of people sell samples in the Facebook groups. They sell them on eBay. I sell them on eBay. You can check out that link down below. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is there's no excuse. Get out and try these fragrances in one way or another. If you have a Macy's nearby and you want to snag some free samples and you want to do some sniffing, but even if you don't, there's still so many ways that you can get access to fragrances to try them for yourself that it's really not much of an excuse. Just go out there and try them. So I think that pretty much does it for this episode of Chaos Talk. So hopefully this was beneficial for some of you. Again, kind of targeted towards some of the newcomers in the hobby, some people who are maybe just starting out. Because again, that was a mistake that I made a lot, and it's a mistake that I'm sure a lot of people still do make, and I actually still see it. I'll see a post in the Facebook group and I'll be like, is this fragrance worth it? So-and-so said that this fragrance sucks and that it only lasts 3 hours and it doesn't get 100,000 compliments every time I wear it, and it doesn't get me laid and drop panties. Who cares if they think it sucks? Just go out and try it, and then you can update the post and say, I think this fragrance blank either smells good or smells like crap. Your opinion. Also, I just want to cut in here really quickly and say that sometimes people legitimately get angry at me when I give a fragrance a good review and they try it and they end up not liking it. Don't be one of those people. That makes no sense at all. Like I said before, you have to try this stuff for yourself. You have to make your own judgments on it. Don't get mad at me because I say something is good and then you try it and you think it's not good. That's just dumb. Don't be dumb. If you're dumb, unsubscribe. That's all. So guys, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. Be curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. And that's going to do it. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss when I post. Also, if you have any ideas for future Chaos Talk episodes, if you want to see me talk about something in particular, just leave a comment down below as well. And that's it for me, guys. Again, Happy New Year to all of you. This is going to be a great year here on the channel, so hopefully you guys stick around. And that's it for me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.